What's up, fight fans? And I'm back at it with another one here at Round One Sports Talk. We're going to be going over the Stephen Kubo Fulton fight versus Naoya Inoue. So, without further ado, you're not going to want to miss this video. All right. So, I go back on and I'm listening to some of these things that they're saying. And one channel in particular, Dante Nation, he's got me to the point where I'm starting to really get irritated with some of his comments because he's making it seem like if you pick Naoya Inoue in this fight, you're a racist fan because you're going against the black American fighter, Stephen Kubo Fulton. And the reason why he's doing this is because he wants to make you feel bad for picking against the fighter that has nothing to do with race, color, or anything. It's just that we're picking the fighter we believe that is the better fighter. Has nothing to do with skin color. I'm picking Naoya Inoue in this fight because I believe that he's the more skilled fighter and I like him in this fight. I like him in this matchup. So I'm picking him here. Now, the way he's using it is in a way that's turning me off. Now, he also made a comment about Tim Bradley making a comment about Naoya Inoue, right? And that he made comments about Fulton, but he complimented Fulton. Okay? Wow, what a coincidence, right? First, you say that Naoya Inoue is on a protective list, right? And that he's being protected because he's on this hope list. If he was on the hope list and he was being protected by these guys, then why didn't they just speak up highly about him? Why did Tim Bradley put him down but speak highly about the American black fighter and said that the monster Naoya Inoue had to work on some things? Why? Because Stephen Kubo Fulton is the one that's more promotable here. He even though he doesn't sell out arenas in the US, and neither does a Naoya Inoue, because Naoya Inoue doesn't have a big following here. But you know where he does sell out arenas? In Japan. Okay? Another thing that he says is that Stephen Kubo Fulton, hats off for you for daring to be great. He's going in Naoya Inoue's backyard to fight him. Hold up. What did you just say? He's daring to be great? No. Devin Haney dared to be great. Marvelous Hagler dared to be great. Fighters like that went across seas to fight their enemy in their backyard. Stephen Kubo Fulton is not daring to be great. Stephen Kubo Fulton was mandated. He was ordered to go to Japan and fight Naoya Inoue or wherever they would have had the fight at. But he was ordered to fight Naoya Inoue. Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't ask for this fight, and neither did his promotional company ask for this fight. As a matter of fact, do you want me to prove it to you right now? Dante's Nation went and used the interview that Stephen Kubo Fulton did on his social media platform. Okay? When Naoya Inoue petitioned the WBO to become his mandatory fight, hundreds of people flooded Stephen Kubo Fulton's social media and accused him of ducking Naoya Inoue. So he went on and did a live, right? And in that interview, I don't know how countless of people asked him over and over and over and over again, what's the story behind you and Naoya Inoue? Are you guys going to fight? He avoided all topics. He did not answer that question. They asked it to him over and over and over again. He would not answer it. He talked about everybody else, but he never mentioned his Naoya Inoue's name out of his mouth. He didn't want that smoke. Then he tries to play it off and say, oh, the reason why I didn't say anything, because I was waiting for the news to break, and then I'm going to come and address it. Really? It's been all the way up to this point, and you still haven't publicly come out and addressed it. The fight is almost done, set in stone, and he still hasn't come out and addressed it. You know why? Because he doesn't want to piss that man off. He knows he's in over his head. The only people that don't know it are his supporters. that are trying to push this false narrative over skin color. And that has nothing to do with it. I'm picking the fighter that I like in this fight. So now, because I'm an American and I pick against the American, I don't like American fighters. Look, what they're doing and what they're saying in some situations, and just in case you don't know this, I can't be, let this go neither without a little bit acknowledging what they're saying. When Marvelous Hagler was coming up in his time, there was a lot of discrimination against him and a lot of racist acts done against him. And if you didn't know this, uh, the mayor or governor at the time, it was one of the Kennedys, petitioned for him to get his first title shot. And he had 44 fights. They never gave him a title shot. Okay? They were really putting him behind the eight ball. When Floyd Mayweather was telling Al Heyman, listen, you need to promote me like this. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. You need to have faith in me. Al Heyman didn't see it. And Floyd Mayweather had to pay him $750,000 to get out of his contract. And lo and behold, who was right? Terrence Crawford was going through a similar situation. So what they're saying, I really can't say it has not happened. But in this particular case right here, it's not happening. Okay? And they have nothing else. So they keep crying, saying the same storyline, hoping you'll buy into it from the previous ones that were somewhat true. And I understand what they were coming from. But what they're actually not viewing is they're actually doing that to Naoya Inoue. They're just doubling down on it with their bullshit. Because Naoya Inoue is not in their plans. He doesn't speak English. He's not marketable. He doesn't have a big following in the US. So at what point do you believe he's on a protected list? These guys that were on those protective lists, they can sell out anywhere. Canelo Alvarez, he can sell out anywhere. Anthony Joshua, all those kind of dudes. You know what I'm saying? They were selling out. Or Lomachenko, he has a big following in the U.S. But Naoya Inoue doesn't. But he soon will be, because he finally got what he wanted. He finally got you guys to acknowledge and to feed him one of your fighters. He finally got one of you guys to step in the ring with him. Yeah, he never fought against a black fighter. I don't think any American black fighters wanted to fight him. That's why. Okay? But he finally got one now. And when he rocks your boy, when he destroys Kubo Fulton, okay? Then and only then, what are you guys going to say after that? You know what they're going to say? The same thing they've ever said to any great champ. The next guy. Here's this next guy. It didn't matter how many fighters Floyd Mayweather beat or how many champions he beat. Every single time, there was someone else. He beat that guy. They said, no, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to beat Floyd right here. Pop, 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 pop. Now what? Oh, that guy wasn't that good. There's another guy that's going to beat you. Pop, 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 pop. Now what? It was always someone else. Always someone else. What I believe they're trying to do is they're trying to feed Naoya Inoue someone that will finally beat him, so that they can knock him off that horse. So whoever beats him gets his star status. And I think that's what they're doing. When you're talking about Stephen Kubo Fulton, well, let's talk about some of the impressive fighters that he has fought. For one in particular, right? Arnold Agai. Stephen Kubo Fulton is praised for fighting that man. He was an undefeated fighter when he came in and fought against Stephen Kubo Fulton. But did you also know that Arnold Agai was 27 years old when he fought Stephen Kubo Fulton? Do you know how old he was when he started his boxing career? He started his boxing career with no amateur background at 20 years old. So it's not like he started training at 20 years old and got in the ring at 20 years old. He had a year or two he had to work at it, right? So at what age did he really get in the ring? So this man has less than 5 years ring experience. Total. And he took your boy, Stephen Kubo Fulton, the distance. He has less than 5 years ring experience. No amateur background, nothing. He started boxing at 20 years old. He was flat-footed. He had no speed. He has power, but he would have to catch you flush with that power. And in evading, Stephen Kubo Fulton was able to evade in front of him. When you watch these fighters that Stephen Kubo Fulton is fighting, most of these fighters are just coming straight forward. Did you notice that? And a lot of them were flat-footed fighters. Okay? Yeah, Dante Nation says that there's a lot of things that a Naoya Inoue has to work on. Sure he does. There's no perfect fighter. There's a lot of things that Stephen Kubo Fulton has to work on. You can say that about him like you can say that about him. And I agree. I agree that Naoya Inoue has things to work on. Why? Because any fighter can always stand to improve. There's no perfect fighter. And your boy Stephen Kubo Fulton has a lot of things he needs to work on. And he says that Naoya Inoue, his style, the way that he gets hit, he's not going to change. Because fighters like Manny Pacquiao and him, they've been fighting this way for so long, they can't change. You could say the same thing about Stephen Kubo Fulton. He has a lot of flaws. And if he had a real big ring IQ, why is it that less superior fighters are getting him hurt on the ropes, giving him hard moments in the fight? You see? The thing that is alarming to me about Stephen Kubo Fulton, that in every fight I watched him in, at some point in the fight, he takes time off. Go but watch any of his fights. And in those fights, there's rounds that he takes off. There's moments in the action where he has big spurts, but he allows the guy to come into his circle and fire off on him. He covers up and then he tries to circle out. You can't do that against Naoya Inoue. He doesn't take any time off. You got to look at his face while he's boxing. The entire match, for however long it lasts, he is focused. Stephen Kubo Fulton is relying on the ability to evade and to get breaks in between. That's where the problem comes in. Those fighters didn't have enough skill to apply pressure on Stephen Kubo Fulton not to give him an opportunity to breathe. How many times have we seen good skilled fighters not able to weather the storm because they didn't give them a moment's rest? You see? And if Stephen Kubo Fulton thinks that he can just fire off, step back and admire his work, and then come back in and do whatever he wants against Naoya Inoue, it's going to be a short night. Because Naoya Inoue is not going to allow Stephen Kubo Fulton to do whatever he wants like those other fighters that stood in front of him that were flat-footed, that didn't really have any movement. You guys are talking like Stephen Kubo Fulton is an elite fighter. Wait a minute, an elite fighter? Okay, he's only been champion in one division. He only has 2 belts. He has 4 championship fights. That's not an elite fighter. He hasn't knocked out 80. He doesn't have an 86% knockout ratio. Okay? He ain't knocking out all his opponents. Okay? And not even the people with 49 losses is he beating. That's not an elite fighter. Okay? What is your definition of an elite fighter? Here's my elite fighter. He's a 3-division world champion. He has 19 successful title defenses consecutively, and he wiped out his division. He has all 4 belts. That's an elite fighter. And he's undefeated. He got to know. And he has never been put down in his career. That's an elite fighter. And he qualifies for an elite fighter. Okay? And based on his skill and his performances is what I categorize him as an elite fighter. You would have to lower the standard and the bar in order to get Fulton into the elite category. Meaning he has to qualify with only 2 belts, One division and only 4 title defenses with 8 knockouts. Now you're going to say that he's an elite fighter? He's not an elite fighter. They're going to try to build him up. They're going to try to make him sound tougher than what he is. And I agree. You know, I would agree to all these things had they also gave Naoya Inoue his flowers too. I would be boosting up Stephen Kubo Fulton like we should be. Because when he knocks him out, that's going to give Naoya Inoue that much credit. And there's a flip side to it. If Fulton wins, it will give him that much recognition. Like I said to you previously, if Fulton pulls this off, who did he beat? He beat the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. If Top Rank and ESPN put him up there ahead of Terrence Crawford and all those guys, well then damn it, that's who the fuck he just knocked out. He knocked out the best. Okay? You're gonna have to give him that. You're gonna have to, right? But when Naoya Inoue wins this fight, what are they gonna say? They're gonna say the same thing they always said to every champion. There's someone else. There's someone else. No, this wasn't this guy. It was this guy. And here we go again. And it makes for great fights. But now that boxing is becoming international and is becoming more worldwide, we as boxing fans have more of a menu and a selection to look at as fighters. And we as boxing fans have the right to pick any fighter he or she likes. That's our right as fans. If I like this guy as a fighter, then damn it, I like him. That doesn't make me racist or a racist fan. That just us boosting up the fight together. I told you before, in any good rival, you need your rivalry. You need your rivals. Because without them, what would make the sport more interesting? A rival in anything makes it that much better, doesn't it? If you're just playing a regular game against a regular opponent and there's no rivalry there, the rivalry is what makes it more. You see? So I respect my rival. I thank them for being my rival. I'm smart enough to understand that. I need you like you need me. But I'm not going to call you racist because you're my rival. No. You know, look, this is just a boxing match. This is just a fight between 2 good fighters, 2 skilled fighters. For God's sake, let's boost up both the fighters. But if you're picking Stephen Kubo Fulton in this fight, I respect you. I respect you. You know, you have the right to your opinion. You have the right to say what you want to say. You know what I'm saying? But please, don't make stuff up. And don't try to push your narrative or your opinion like if it's facts. It might sound good in your head, and that is what you believe in. Okay, great. It's your opinion. But don't try to make your opinion a fact and try to push it to people like this is fact. You know, no. The fact is, Naoya Inoue is the more accomplished champion. Naoya Inoue should have been the A side. Naoya Inoue is the only person here daring to be great. And Naoya Inoue is the one that put this fight together. Nothing came from Stephen Kubo Fulton's side. And when they mentioned that man's name in his interview, he ignored all conversation. On his own live, he didn't even say Naoya Inoue's name. He don't want that smoke. He never wanted it. They can pretend like he wanted it. They could pretend like they're giving him all the praises. Okay? You could pretend that. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to meet. And when they finally meet and this fight finally happens, man, I can't wait. Because I'm going to stand on my square. I hope you stand on your square. And we'll see what happens. We will see. On to the next one. Please like, subscribe, share the videos. And on to the next one. Peace.